Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Talk British and a big warm welcome to our existing and new subscribers. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we're going to be focused on past simple and ED endings. Although they have a similar ending in terms of spelling, you'll see they have different sounds. So the past simple and ED endings are learning regular past tense verbs, okay? We will also pronounce the ED because it comes out in different sounds. It comes out as a T, a D, or an ID, and I'll explain a little bit more as we progress through the video. Past simple vocabulary: walked, played, wanted, washed, listened, watched, cooked, visited, needed, cleaned. Did you hear any differences in the way I ended those? If you did, that's quite a good pickup because they do have a different sound, and I'll explain why now. So an example, I walked to school. Okay, or you could use any of these. I washed the clothes. I watched Talk British videos. Good job. So let's focus on the pronunciation of how these endings actually sound, because they do all sound slightly different. So the T is after voiceless sounds. For example, walked, washed. You see that? T? Walked, washed. It doesn't say walked or washed. It sounds like a T. It is a D, but it sounds like a T. Walked, washed. And then the D sound is after voiced sounds. Played, cleaned. You see, there's a solid D in that one. Played, cleaned. And then you have the id sounds after the TD sounds as wanted, needed, wanted, needed. Can you see the differences between those sounds? Now, you may have picked them up when I read the words in the previous slide, but that's the example. The D, in this particular instance, the D comes from your throat. Even the id. The id and the D are both from the throat, and the T is from the front of the mouth, which is the one that produces the puff of air. So now I'm going to read some things, and you can just listen to what I say. Stop the video anytime, and you can repeat those after me, or listen through and maybe come back to this particular slide as we progress. So, laughed, played, wanted. I'll say those again. Laughed, played, and wanted. So repeat those and you'll understand the different endings. I'm going to now show you some short verbs by sound on a worksheet. Now this particular worksheet will be extremely useful for you to learn from, because it separates. Let me just show you. I'm just talking about it. All of these words here are explained in the id sound: the applauded, started, wanted, trusted, needed, toasted, hated, painted. And then the D: called, find, cleaned, used, enjoyed, followed, loved, damaged. And then the T sound in fixed, kicked, danced, washed, looked, helped, laughed, and watched. Example sentences: she laughed loudly. He wanted a dog. He fixed the window. You see the differences in those sounds. Self-help tips for you is to write 5 verbs with the ED pronunciation, okay, in their different formats: the T, the D, and the ID. So try and find 5 of each. And I've already helped you because if you look at the previous slide that I put up there, they kind of are there. See if you can find any more though, if you could. I mean, if not, don't worry. Take the sheet I put there, have a look at it and learn from it, and just get used to the different sounding words and what they're from. If you can find more, fantastic. But what I'm trying to do is encourage you to self-help a little bit. Take my little tips and bits and bobs that I'm showing you, and then do a bit of self-help yourself. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching this far. I would also like to encourage you to consider subscribing, consider sharing consider liking. Also, please feel free to stick some comments down. If there's any kind of subject on English that you want me to consider covering, I will certainly consider it. So please just pop down in the comments, and wherever I can help, I will try and help you. All that's left to say now is I hope you guys have the most wonderful day, and we'll see you back on the channel very, very soon.